The handlebars, it's going to move. It's not the easiest thing to get onto while it's doing a bucket bronco. So hands on the tank, get yourself on. Perfect. Now, I reckon you ride a bike. Yeah, what bike have you got? Oh, nice. Right, nice. Nice. This is going to feel a little bit alien to you. It's a little bit small, it'll be a little bit compact. First thing I want you to do is move back 2 inches on that seat so you're able to get the fist between you and the bike. Safety reasons. I won't explain it too much, there's young children there. I'm going to try and ask you to maintain that gap at all times. Not for my benefit, your benefit. Right, grab hold of the handlebars. All I'm going to ask you to do, just like the previous gentleman, what would you do to turn the bike to the right? So we're going to go around a right hand bend. Keep going. So you're trying to lean that bike over. You're putting no input through that steering device whatsoever. So we're going to a right hand bend. You've got to turn right. What would you do? Still trying to lean it with the body? Have a go at that. So if we're turning to the right and you've got to push the bars in the opposite direction, remember it's going to fire any second. There you go. Now you're turning right. So, this is what we call counter steering. You want to turn right, so you've pushed right. I'm from Birmingham, that's how I've got to remember it. Simple. Turn right, push right. Turn left, push left. So you're coming around your bends, you can see your exit. You now need to straighten your bike up. What do you do? As you try to force it over. Yes, we do use a bit of body weight, but the body weight that you use for steering is for stabilisation. If you need to steer a bike, you've got to put an input through that steering device. You've got to push on the handlebars. And I've had people on there that say, I've been riding for 20 years. How'd you turn right? They know what they're doing, they've been riding for 20 years and they can always turn right. But they can't tell me how they do it. So this is the understanding, this is the knowledge. So let's have a couple of goes. You want to turn right, what are you going to do to turn right? Come through the bend, you want to straighten the bike up, what are you going to do? Yeah, so we're now coming to a set of S's, right, left, flip flop. So he's gone left, he's gone straight off the road through the hedge. There we go. All the way over to the left. Let's get you used to how this bike feels. Left hand turn. Oh, he's gone right. No pressure. All the way to the left. Push left. Yeah. All the way to the right. Push right. All the way to the left. It's now turning into a workout. And right. Right, so we've got counter steering. Happy with that? Right. Now, we're going to do look at your braking. We're going to look at the technique for braking. All I want you to do now is grab a handful of front brake and show me what you would do if you've got to come to a stop at a set of traffic lights. Have you noticed how everybody stands really far away as well? Happy? How much weight you got through your wrists at the moment? Nearly most of it. You can tell you got a nice little bit of whiteness going on. Right, relax, take your hand off the brake. So what we're going to do now is what I call locked on. Oh, that's better. If you haven't figured out, I like the sound of my own voice. So, okay, pegs are in a nice place. Woo. Pegs are in a nice place. Pegs are on the balls of your feet, just behind your toes. If we could, I'd like you to grip with your toes, but we can't, you've got shoes on. What I want you to do now is slightly turn your feet inwards. Everybody rides Daffy Duck, drives me mad, but that's just my OCD. I want you to turn your feet inwards, that's it. That is going to force your knees into the tank, so biomechanically you're now squeezing that tank without any muscle contraction. And now I want you to come up on your toes, so you're forcing your knees into these stock grips. Have you still got your safety gap? Good. Now apply a handful of front brake with you locked on, squeezing into that tank. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Happy? How much weight have you got through your hands now? Not as much. Right, wave at the crowd with your left hand. Wave at the crowd with your right hand. Right, you're now fully locked on. Happy? Comfortable? Grab hold of that front brake. You're in control. You can release that brake when you're ready. So, demonstration number one, all the way through the bars. Your weight transfer is going like this. Your centre of mass is a slight exaggeration, but I'm doing it up here for demonstration purposes for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people we've got watching. Your centre of mass is up here. With the second demonstration, your weight transfer is now here. So you've got more even distribution of weight between the front and the back tyre, because when it's this way, most of it's going through that front tyre. When it's this way, the frame of the bike transfers it that way. Never done that before. I'm making this up as I go. Well, I'm not joking. So, your centre of mass now, when you transfer this way, is in there. Does that make sense? If it's up here, or if it's down there, which one of those two gives you greater stability? The one down the bottom. Because your centre of mass is down here, it's going to be harder to fall over. If it's up here, it's easy to fall over. All that weight through the bars. The tyre, again, is like a creature from Birmingham. It's a simple thing. It just wants to do one thing. It wants to brake or it wants to turn. It doesn't want to brake and have all that pressure at the same time. So if we can take the pressure off the front, you're going to get more feel. You're not going to be compressing your suspension so much. You're going to have it working through its working range a lot easier. You're not going to be putting the tyre under so much pressure, so its grip is going to be better. You're going to get more feel backwards. So if it's just beginning to reach the limit, you're going to feel it, 'cause it's going to twitch and it's going to want to turn. You're going to feel all that back. If you've got 40 kilograms pushing down, you need 40 kilograms of response before you feel it. If you've got 1 kilogram, you're going to feel, if you run over a little gnat, you're going to feel it. Because there's no weight through those bars. The suspension will be happier, the tyre will be happier, you'll be happier because you'll feel everything that the bike's doing. Now for me, I like greater stability, greater control. Some people will disagree with that. I've seen how they ride. All right, Treacle, I'll speak to you in a minute. So, greater control, greater stability, that's a thumbs up for me. And that's what we do here. We will break down the riding of a bike so you can fully understand what the bike's doing, what the bike's telling you. If you want the bike to do something, we'll show you how to do it. Does that make sense? All right, let's put all this together. Let's put counter steering and braking together. So we're going to do a bit of role play. Yeah, there's one of us cheering, that'll do. I want you to imagine you're coming down the road at 40 miles an hour. You're going to go into a right-hand bend. And you're going to come out that bend. So, the procedure is this. Coming down the road, you're going to move 1 inch to the right. 1 inch. You're not going to go, yeah! You're going to go, inch. You just looked at my bum then, didn't you? Yeah, you did. So, move, lock, brake. Do that for me. Move, lock. Oh, I didn't say turn. Not yet. Come back up to the middle. So, move your hips 1 inch to the right. Lock onto the tank. Hit the brake. You're now coming down from 60 mile an hour to about 40 mile an hour. Release the brake. As soon as the bike settles, turn. Yeah, better. Careful with the amount of weight you're putting through your bars. Remember that lock on. Even when you're fully turned over, you want the outside leg fully locked on. So this one, fully locked on. You can relax that one only when you get to full lean angle. So we're coming down the road, 60 mile an hour. You can see your right hand bend. You're going to move, lock, brake, good. Wave the crowd quickly. Yeah, back on. Release the brake. Turn. You're almost right left. Good. Once you're fully locked on, leave it there. Make sure that leg's locked. You can relax this leg, and then eventually I'd want that elbow in that gap. So lean a little bit. Try and get that elbow into that knee. All of a sudden, you're now getting into a racing position. Does that feel a little bit different? Right, let's do this once more. Come back up to the middle. So you're coming down the road. Move, lock, brake, release, settle, drop. Oh, look how straight that arm is. All that weight's back on that arm. Right, can I poke you in the hip? Yeah, that's a good lock on. The bike's wobbling with you. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Should we do it once more? Third to charm. It's looking pretty good now. So, 60 mile an hour. Move, lock, Oh, he's just locked on while he was already braking. Boom! Release. Settle. Turn. Try and get that elbow in that knee. There you go. Better. Better. Right, so we've looked at your counter steering. How you steer a bike. We've looked at your locked on. Gives you greater control, greater stability. Trying to put them all together. See how you got the control and the stability and then you drop into it. Happy with that? Do you have any questions at the moment? Right, so this is what we do. We do 4 levels. Everybody starts at level 1 no matter what. Even if the BSB boys come over, they have to start at level 1. And we break this down into small bite-sized chunks so you can learn how to ride a bike properly. Because when you do your test, you learn to pass a test. They don't teach you to ride a bike. Now, when I did my levels, by the end of day 1, the bike felt as if it was on rails. I know I'm wearing a shirt and I know there's this sales pitch, but that is just me personally. The difference it made was phenomenal. All the literature is on the tables over there. Take one of the big booklets that tells you about the levels. Our school dates are on there and our hire bikes are on there as well. I would recommend that we get skill levels up and then you start putting new suspension and new brakes onto your bike. How do you feel? You're up.